of some alien archaeology. There are so many aliens to deal with. I picked just a few, and one that there are no pictures of. We'll start with that one, because it's fun. Has anyone read Nothing O'Clock? Nobody. All right. It's a Neil Gaiman story. It features the 11th Doctor, and he's battling a creature called the Kin, which is described as a crawling, squirming mess. That's all you see when you look at it. And there's only one. It existed since the beginning of time, and the Time Lords locked it up. They put it in a special prison just out of phase, and they would always keep it contained. But, alas, down to one Time Lord, and there's a disturbance in the universe, and the Kin gets loose. It has a different way of taking over the universe. It buys it. Fortunately, the Doctor was able to save us. And we'll move on to a little more of the regularly scheduled monsters. Anybody have any favorites?
Angels.
Angels. You get lots of angels tomorrow. But, briefly, you'll notice that we have some kind of foggy pictures of them, but nothing too distinct, because the image of an angel is an angel. And we don't want this whole room taken over. It's bad enough that there are angels everywhere you look down here, so please be careful.
Cherubs at the back of the room.
Oh, yes, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. But they're not giggling, which is always a good thing. Let's go to that lovely old favorite, the Daleks. The Daleks are from Skaro. They don't actually look like this. They look like that. They're kind of a squirmy bunch of stuff. And they live, but they've destroyed their empathy circuits, so they feel nothing other than hate. If you saw Into the Dalek, you know that the Doctor healed a Dalek, but that didn't turn out so well, because it thought maybe it should kill other Daleks now. Does anyone know why the Dalek was called Rusty? Yes?
Because he was rusty.
No. It's kind of an inside joke, actually. Yes?
Their outside is made out of metal.
That's probably why the Doctor actually called him Rusty. Why the writers called him Rusty was because it was a nickname of the former showrunner. But Russell T. Davies is commonly known as Rusty. So, Daleks. Let the professor put on her glasses so she can see what her notes say. What an idea. What's different about the Daleks from the cult of Skaro? Does anybody know? Yes? No? All right. The cult of Skaro consisted of 3 Daleks, Dalek Sek, Dalek Khan, and Dalek Faye. They are the only Daleks with names.
That's right.
They would do temporal shifts and move through time, and thought perhaps they could get the Daleks back to being less armored. Doesn't work. Dalek Khan, however, had other plans. Dalek Khan actually saved Davros and rewrote history in order for the 10th Doctor, well, I guess he's now the 11th and 12th, but in order for the lovely brown-haired Doctor with the spiky hair Mr. Tennant to destroy Davros's reality bomb, which would wipe out all of the universes. Does anybody see a problem with that? That if you're going to kill everything, you're going to kind of kill yourself too, and kind of what's the point? But Dalek Khan planned on saving him, so different story. The Daleks the very name, it makes you shiver. And the design of the Daleks' outer casing has altered as their technology advances, which is why you've gotten the large Teletubby Daleks in the bright, lovely colors, and then the more normal World War II Dalek in the lovely military gray, and then you get the Daleks that we see in most of the Time War, which are usually gold. In Asylum of the Daleks, everybody remember Asylum of the Daleks? Yes, no, maybe? Yes!
I don't know.
You see every Dalek that was ever used in the show. And a lot of exposure. But they are amazing creatures. They can survive for centuries without access to a energy source, and then revive when their power is started, kind of like a computer. Unit and Torchwood have both confronted them. Torchwood stopped their attack by the fact that Tosh had a plasma shield that absorbed the bullets. Dalek couldn't get in, Torchwood couldn't get out, but it did save them until the Doctor was able to move on. There are legends and myths about the origins of the Daleks. Some people say they were created as part of a super evolutionary experiment by the Haldrons on the planet Archon, and others that they are mutated survivors of a nuclear reactor. Now, if you know your old Doctor Who, you tend to go for the survivors of the nuclear reactor. The Daleks originally were two species. The ones that survived above had the metal casing. The others, the Thals, were much more violent. So the Daleks have changed through history. They have indeed moved along. Thousands, perhaps millions of years ago, there was a war on the planet Skaro. And for 1,000, the Khaleds, which became the Daleks, and the Thals, fought against each other. Gradually, it became a war of attrition. But the Khaleds' chief scientist, Davros, realized that the cycle of mutation was irreversible. And so he built the shells. He used some of his own cells in order to do so. The Daleks seem to be unstoppable. They have been destroyed and come back, and I'm sure will come back again. But enough about them. Let's move on to these little sweeties. I don't know if you can see them. They're called the Slitheen. The Slitheen they steal bodies, basically, to make them not seem quite so nice. They're scavengers. They go to planets and they strip them of all their resources, which they then resell. They first appeared in Aliens in London and confronted the Ninth Doctor, where Space Pig was also seen for a second time. They consist of calcium. And because they are made of calcium as a base, there is one way to kill them. And any mothers that do a lot of cleaning know how to get rid of calcium stains? No? Yes, yes. I see a nod.
Scrubbing bubbles.
No. Simpler.
Vinegar.
Yes. If you spray the Slovene with vinegar, they will dissolve. One of them, Blonde, actually became the mayor of Cardiff. And she was planning on kind of having a nuclear facility there and having it explode, and then they would be able to salvage everything again. But the doctor caught her. She tried to kill the doctor several times while they were having dinner. First, Slovene can shoot a dart out of their finger, which is poisonous and travels very quickly. Secondly, Slovene, if that fails, they can breathe on you, and their breath is a poisonous gas. But got that too. A little bit of breath freshener, and he stopped her cold. But Blonde was she was one of the very driven Slovene, and tried to steal the TARDIS. Unfortunately, it only resulted in her being put back to being an egg, and then taken back to their home planet. Their home planet is Raxacorico Falcipatorius. Its sister planet is Clom. The sister planet is where the Absorbaloff came from. Kind of a side note there. The Absorbaloff would just suck people up. So that's pretty much the Slovene. Let's get to these guys. You ever walk into a room and don't remember why you were there? You ever trip over a flat spot in the floor? Did you ever forget what you've seen a couple of seconds ago? Your friend and mine, the silence. The silence were created by the papal mainframe, which was then overtaken by the Daleks. So the silence were originally confessors. You could go, you could give them your confession, you would turn away, and you'd forget you'd even talked to them. Pretty safe. Better than just about anything. However, the Kavorian branch of the papal mainframe had a problem with my sweetie. And they wanted him dead really, really, really bad. And so they were using the silence to help assassinate the doctor. They even trained me to do it. It's too cute. I mean, after all, you train somebody to kill somebody and then you fall in love with them. But the silence have an interesting history in that there are people that will tell you that the moon landing was faked, that it was faked in order to help with the Cold War. Well, maybe so. Others, really good conspiracy theorists, say that the moon landing was faked because a warning had to be issued about these creatures, about the silence, that you would remember them and you would be able to kill them on sight. Problem is, you don't remember seeing them. Parts of that warning have not taken effect, so chances are they're probably still with us. Let me see. They do make you forget. They are probably one of the oldest creatures in the universe. But again, residual effect. There is the Pachelbel canon that keeps repeating and repeating and going higher and higher and higher, like someone's trying to remember something. There are the paintings of Edward Munch and other paintings from 1838 to 1910, all with similar faces. We have tales of the gray aliens. Are they the Silents or are they someone else? We don't really know. We know that silence will fall when the question is asked, but I'm not going to ask it, and I know he's not going to answer it. Which brings us to your favorite, weeping angels. Very quickly, there are two of them in this room. So, fortunately, I'm kind of watching them. But they are as old as the Time Lords themselves. It is said that without a planet, without a planet, and they were possibly created as punishment. Rassilon mentions them when there are Time Lords covering their eyes, that you must protect your eyes as the Time Lords in days of old. This is the same position that most of the weeping angels have. Our first introduction to the angels is in 2007, we find them. They found the Doctor in 1969 and sent him back in Blink. They want the TARDIS because they're not only the lonely assassins, they are the kindest assassins in the universe. They send you back in time and let you live yourself to death and feed on all the residual time energy you would have had. So what they want in 2007, and the reason that they shifted the Doctor to 1969 is they want the TARDIS. Can you imagine how much time energy is inside of there? They will live forever. I'm going to open the floor of questions. Any alien you want to know about, and if I know, trust me, I'll tell you. Yes?
Now, you were talking about the Daleks.
Yes.
And how they seem to be unstoppable. Can they climb upstairs?
They can. They don't actually climb. They hover.
Or they can, like, float?
They can float.
Oh.
It was a big surprise to the Ninth Doctor when there was a collector, there's always a collector, that had one Dalek. And it had gotten free, and it was chasing Rose. Rose ran up the stairs, and the Doctor thought, oh, she's safe. And then they started to hover and chased her up the stairs.
So they have anti-gravity or something?
They have anti-grav.
All right.
They are pretty good. Anybody else? Question? Yes?
Going back to the Weeping Angels, just for curiosity here, I've seen one episode at one point where the seer was also covering
Yes.
her.
Covering her face as the weeping angels of old.
So what does that?
I believe it to be an insult from Rassilon. That the weeping angels, because they were quantum locked, couldn't do anything to anyone unless you weren't looking at them. So they covered their eyes. And when you're not looking at them, oh boy, can they move quickly.
But isn't that also when they cover their eyes according to old law? That when a seer covers their face like that, is saying that it cannot look at the face of people?
Yes, that is correct. Anybody else? Question? Yes?
I found the Ood to be very, very interesting, especially once the later episode came out.
With Donna Noble.
Yes.
Yes. Lovely lady. Yes, the Ood are fascinating. They are empaths and telepaths. They have a hive mind. What one knows, they all know. Ood Sigma wasn't very much keyed into the doctor, and they knew of his future before he did. What had happened to the Ood was they had two brains, and the people seeking, can't talk today, seeking to make money actually put a speaker on their hindbrain so that they could communicate, and made them very, very, well, unhappy. And they also put a fence around the large brain, the main brain of the Ood, so that communication between the Ood was stifled. Basically a very peaceful race until marketing got a hold of them. Yes, anybody else? Okay. I think I've answered everything in the little test I have for you. So, here's the deal. If you put your email address on here, I will send you a postcard from Gallifrey when I get back to my computer, if you got all the answers right. You'll probably get one if you didn't. So I'm going to hand them to you. I'm going to fall downstairs now. Take one, pass them back. They're all the same thing. If you don't want to finish it now, you can finish it and I'm here tomorrow. Tomorrow, for anybody that's really interested, it's all about the weeping angels. And all of their problems. And my problems. And Sweetie's problems. Anybody else have any questions? Please feel free to ask. I think we're doing good on time.
We're just about up. Doing better than most.
Yes, but that's because I haven't all out, because I'm not really awake yet. But again, like I say, everybody grab a test. I don't think I asked anything that I haven't covered, which is why I turned the power off. Oh, well, yes. No, I did mention that. Okay. Wonderful thing about weeping angels, while we're told not to blink and told to watch them, there's only one place you should never, ever look. Never look an angel in the eye. Something you want to remember. I think that covers all the questions. So, if you were paying attention and I didn't bore you to death, then I hope I'll see you tomorrow for a time for angels. Same room, same bat time, same bat channel. Well, actually not the same bat time. Actually, 12 o'clock. And if you have any other questions, I will be around the con most of the day. Probably most of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.